David, Crawford will fight you if he beats Canelo.
You can't take Crawford's skill away. You know, you have to give him credit for skill. You know, he's an amazing fighter, he's an amazing technician in the ring, and
Benavidez is like 6 foot something. You know what I mean? Then you gonna come in 190, 200 probably. You know what I mean? Like you never know. Like that's a big dude. Like you know what I mean?
And he's skilled, man.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I might as well go to heavyweight if I fight Benavidez.
Following his victory over the boxing champion, Terence Crawford and his team are now setting their sights on a fresh challenge, David Benz. This is the very fighter that Canelo steered clear for years, but now he become the primary focus for Crawford.
I think it's like 64.
David, Crawford will fight you if he beats Canelo.
Nah, I wouldn't fight Crawford. I'm at 175.
It was clear that Crawford wasn't pursuing Canelo for financial gain. His motivation was legacy, greatness, and the opportunity to secure his place in boxing history. Now, to continue that journey, Team Crawford is targeting the powerhouse of the 168-pound division, the fighter known as a Mexican monster.
When you'd want to see Bud fight in this era, that you think, you know what, that'd be a great fight.
Well, I would say Benavidez, but he's too, you know, that weight class is too high for him. So, you know, where he's at now is great.
If this matchup happens, it would take place at super middleweight, which is Ben's natural weight class. But here's the interesting part. Crawford has already proven at 168 pounds that he's not only holding his own, but excelling.
Here at Kamaru, Terence Crawford versus the Mexican monster, David Benavidez.
I knew it was coming.
He was the mandatory for Canelo.
Oh my God. Relax.
What's up? The scariest guy in the division.
He's not in the division.
He said he could still make 168 pounds. The reason why he went up because nobody wants to.
In the bout with Canelo, Bud moved like a streak of lightning, too quick, too smooth, and incredibly sharp, leaving Canelo chasing thin air. Now, imagine that same speed and sharp ring intelligence facing off against a naturally larger and relentless Benz. That's the kind of battle that could shake up the entire boxing landscape.
Talking about Crawford.
Oh, Crawford and Benavidez.
He said he wanted if Benavidez to make 168.
We just talked to Womack and he was like, "Nah, we don't want to do that. We
Yeah,
something else." But
I just think Benavidez, he's like what, 6'5", 6 something like that. He's a big dude, bro.
Yeah. Turki Alalshikh is beaming after Crawford's major victory, and he's now stirring things up on social media. He recently posted a provocative message on X asking, "Can David Benz still hit 168 pounds?" A clear nod that a Crawford versus Benz showdown could be on his radar.
Alalshikh posted on social media asking if David Benavidez is still capable of making it down to 168. Now, we're not sure if this little tease that Turki made was targeted as a hint for a future fight between Crawford and Benavidez or Canelo versus Benavidez.
But here's the twist. Benz doesn't seem too eager to step into the ring with Crawford. Sound familiar? That's exactly what happened with Canelo at first. He wasn't keen on facing Bud initially, but when a massive $150 million offer came into play, it suddenly became the biggest fight of his career. That's the influence of Turki Alalshikh. When he brings that kind of money to the table, fighters quickly set aside their doubts. Talk of legacy is one thing, but a 9-figure payday can turn a not interested into a where do I sign?
I feel like Bud needs a Benavidez. And then that would mean Benavidez would have to go into a different body and bring himself back down to 68 when he's already getting settled in at 175. That's just Turki trying to pull rank. So Turki trying to show he got a golden arm.
Now, here's where things get interesting. After all the chatter about Turki waving big money around, Crawford finally opens up about his thoughts on Benz. And you can really sense the respect. But at the same time, he basically calls him a heavyweight in disguise. But even jokes that if he's going to face someone like that, he might as well start training to fight heavyweights.
You were at 168. When we think about anybody at 168 outside of Canelo, the first name that comes to anybody's mind is David Benavidez. What about the potential for a fight like that?
Oh, like I said, man, that's a big dude. You know what I mean? He ain't even at 168. You know, when you look
right now, it's at 175, yeah.
He probably can't even make 168 no.
No doubt about it. And honestly, he's not exaggerating. Ben steps into the ring looking like he just devoured the cruiserweight division for breakfast. But here's the twist. Crawford still believes he holds the advantage in speed, timing, and pure skill. That's Bud's confidence shining through. He sizes up his opponents, acknowledges their size and threat, but still finds a way to outsmart them. And let's be real, that's exactly why fans admire him. He's not backing down from the challenge. He's approaching it like a game of chess.
When you look at these fights, you know, especially coming up, you gotta be realistic. You gotta, say, all right, how big is this dude really is? Because David Benavidez, he can fight his ass off. Me personally, I believe in my skills and my ability that I can be
big or small, it doesn't matter. Crawford believes he's the one in control, and honestly, that's pretty funny. Looking at Benavidez is like staring up at a skyscraper, yet Crawford's still asking, which floor do I knock you out on? Only Crawford could make taking on a giant sound like just another regular day. And just when Crawford had everyone hyped up about Benavidez being a hidden giant, Robert Garcia steps in with a reality check. Kind of like the friend at the barbecue who tells you you're piling way too much on your plate.
He should have maybe fought Benavidez instead. Maybe that would have been a better fight for him.
Who?
Benavidez.
Oh no, Benavidez would destroy him. Not even close. Just like Benavidez would destroy Crawford.
I won't lie. When he said Benavidez could take out both Canelo and Crawford, I nearly spit out my drink. Like, hold up, coach. Let's have our little fantasy for a minute. But I get where Garcia is coming from. He's not sugarcoating anything. Basically, he's saying, look, Crawford's a once-in-a-generation fighter, but Benavidez is a whole different beast. And honestly, you and I both know it's the kind of matchup where size and raw power might just make Bud look like any other guy. Still, you gotta appreciate the way Garcia laid it down. It was pretty priceless.
There's no chance. There's no chance. Benavidez is too big, too strong, too fast for these guys. Benavidez would beat these two guys, I would say.
He didn't even blink. Just shut it down like a dad cutting off the Wi-Fi when you've been gaming way too long. But here's how I see it. Yeah, Benavidez is a serious powerhouse, no question. Still, every time someone says a fighter's too big or too strong for Crawford, he pulls some kind of magic and turns legends into warm-up rounds. So, will I shell out my last pay-per-view dollar to watch that fight? Absolutely.
And like I said, Crawford is one of my favorites of all times now because of what he just accomplished, what he just did. But Benavidez is too big for him, too fast, too strong. I wouldn't even want to see it. Canelo, Benavidez beats him.
Robert Garcia had us holding our plates tight with that reality check at the barbecue. And just when you think it couldn't get any hotter, bam, Sugar Shane Mosley drops the wildest take of the year. This guy straight up claimed Crawford might actually be better than Mayweather. I had to pause the video and take a deep breath because that's the kind of statement that makes boxing fans want to throw furniture around the room. And the craziest part, he said it without missing a beat. Then he broke it down, saying Mayweather's all about the technique, but Crawford, he's got those long arms, that old school grit, and he's ready to fight you anywhere.
After the fight, Canelo was like, he's better than Mayweather. So, maybe it was just different because Crawford's arms are long. His arms are really long, so it's kind of hard to hit him. But no, he did everything, man. He's the man.
You can't really argue too much because deep down, Shane makes a solid point. Now just picture the debate scene. Skip Bayless sweating bullets, Max Kellerman cooking up a fiery monologue, and your uncle at the barbershop shouting for 190 with veins popping out. This conversation isn't wrapping up anytime soon, and that's exactly what makes it epic. Then Mosley casually drops the Canelo retirement talk like it's no big deal. Just another ordinary Tuesday. Like, yeah, Canelo's done plenty. Maybe it's time he switches gears, starts training fighters, or even steps into the ring with Jake Paul for a cool $100 million.
Canelo, do you think he should retire?
Yeah, I mean, Canelo is more so into training, probably fighters and helping people. Like he already did what he needed to do. There's nothing really more he can do in the sport.
Man, only in boxing do we jump from GOAT debate straight to picturing Canelo schooling Jake Paul just so the Netflix clicks. That's the magic of it. You and me, we're witnessing history unfold live. Crawford showing he's in a league of his own, Mayweather's shadow still hanging over the game, and legends like Mosley dropping truths with a smirk. And if Canelo actually stepped into the ring with Jake Paul, the internet would crash harder than Ticketmaster during a Taylor Swift drop. That's the kind of wild ride boxing fans secretly crave, whether they'll admit it or not.
Would you think Bud would retire? I didn't actually ask you that. Do you think Bud could call it a day?
He probably will retire for a year, maybe. If he does, a year or 2 years like that, right? A year. But he's coming back.
Yeah.
He's coming back. He's a fighter. He's coming back.
Right after Shane Mosley dropped that bomb about Crawford possibly being better than Mayweather, Simon Jordan steps in with that accountant vibe, like he just opened the contract books himself. And honestly, he's not wrong. Canelo strutted out of Vegas with a payday so huge, he probably needed a forklift to carry it. $150 million. Meanwhile, Crawford, who actually made history, walked away with $50 million. Don't get me wrong, $50 million is enough to buy an island and never look back. But next to Canelo's haul, it feels like Bud brought the masterpiece to the table, and Canelo got paid for framing it. That's boxing in a nutshell. Skills cover the bills, but superstar branding builds a mansion.
That Canelo Alvarez has been able to sell himself in such a way because of his personality, because of the nature of the relationship with the Mexican contingent, his relationship with the broadcasters, whereas Terence Crawford has travelled a little bit under the radar, always been seen. He doesn't have the biggest of personalities, so he can sell himself in that certain way.
I totally felt Simon's frustration when he called out the scoring, and even roasted Max Kellerman for bringing up retirement right after Crawford's biggest victory. Like, come on, this guy just locked a spot in the Hall of Fame. And the first thing you ask is, so, when's the farewell tour? That's like asking Usain Bolt if he's done running right after smashing a world record. We've got to enjoy the moment, man. Crawford just pulled off a win that shook the entire sport. And instead of celebrating, they're already rushing him off the stage. Honestly, Simon nailed it. Forget the payday. Forget the questionable scorecards. This is one of those nights when boxing fans should just sit back and appreciate true greatness.
The only thing I found controversial about it was the appalling scoring. I don't know how anyone, I mean, the AI scoring was just as bad because it came out of a draw, but the actual, this wasn't a close fight.
Well, the AI scoring, you're right.
It was a draw.
The AI is meant to be the ultimate judge. Yeah. 114, 114.
No, the other judges scored it 115, 113.
All right, here's how we close this out. Crawford just shook up boxing once again, and now everyone's buzzing about what's next. Is it Benavidez? Another legendary showdown? Or will Bud just sit back on his throne while everyone else tries to catch up? Whatever happens, this moment feels special. We're watching a fighter who's rewriting the playbook in real time. And the debates? Man, they're just getting started. Crawford versus Benavidez, the comparisons to Mayweather, Canelo's future moves. It's like boxing's got more plot twists than a Netflix series right now. That's where you come in. Drop your thoughts in the comments, because I know you've got some killer takes. Does Crawford really have what it takes to take down the Mexican powerhouse? Or is Robert Garcia onto something, and size might finally be the equalizer? Let's get this debate going. And hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're only just warming up. The next one's going to be even wilder. Catch you there.